The funeral of the gay rights campaigner George Montague took place today. Mr. Montague, who died at the age of 98 in March, was convicted of gross indecency with a man back in 1974. 43 years later, George won a government apology, and for years he's been a mainstay of Brighton Pride. So today his friends marked his very last journey through the city, as Sarah Smith reports.
It's the only way he could have made his final journey, through the city he loved, the hearse followed by his friends and family on a rainbow-coloured bus. This was possibly George Montague's proudest achievement, campaigning for and winning an apology over being criminalised for being gay.
Everything looks for a mate. But in my day, if you did that, you were importuning for an immoral purpose, and you were a criminal.
For years he hid his sexuality, but never regretted his marriage and the children it brought. In the 80s, though, he finally came out, later marrying his civil partner as soon as the law allowed. And at Brighton Pride, the years couldn't stop him taking his place among the celebrations. Today, those whose lives he touched came to say goodbye.
He wanted to fight for gay rights. He didn't want anyone to go through what he had. He felt a real sense of injustice.
Very grateful to him, and it's important for someone like me in my generation to look up to those amazing people and remember them and honour them, because they're disappearing. So, yeah, I have a lot of time and respect for George and Sonchai.
And of course it was Sonchai with whom he shared the last 25 years of his life.
But one thing that he always tell me is that when they go, when the time comes, do not feel sad. Celebrate it, because that's what he actually done, everything that he have wanted to, and he's no regrets, very happy.
A man who'd lived several extraordinary lives in one lifetime. Sarah Smith, BBC Southeast Today, Brighton.
He's a true legend, wasn't he? We're going to move on to sport now.
A celebration of the life of a gay rights campaigner from Brighton has taken place.
George Montague, who was 98, was described as a hero by those who knew him. Charlotte Wilkins has this report.
George Montague makes his final journey through the city where he could be himself. The 98-year-old was a fierce campaigner for gay rights, and while he only came out officially in his 80s, he'd spent many happy years with his partner Sonchai, who he married in 2015.
His warm, loving partner, husband, friends, and love my life.
Mr. Montague was an active participant in the annual Pride celebrations in the city. He would often be seen with his mobility scooter adorned in rainbows and flags, and described himself as the oldest gay in the village.
Now people understand. When I was very young they didn't. Now they understand.
When George Montague was a young man, living in an openly gay relationship would have been unthinkable. In 1974, he was convicted of gross indecency with another man. Years later, once the law had changed, he was offered a pardon by the government, but refused to accept it and fought tirelessly for an apology instead.
George was such an inspiration for the whole time that I've been here. He's always been there in the background, making a massive difference to the community and making sure people know that it's important to have visibility, helping a whole community of people be pardoned for being who they are.
There's no doubt that George will be honoured and celebrated at this year's Brighton Pride Parade in August, but it won't be quite the same without him in it. Charlotte Wilkins, ITV News, Brighton.
Some lovely tributes there.
Holly Joy.